The Babyliss Pro FX trimmer is probably the most used and well-known clipper in the barber industry. It's sharp, it's powerful, it feels good in your hand, it looks really cool. The one problem that myself and a lot of other people have with it is it's very expensive. They go for anywhere from $125 to upwards of $200, depending on where you get them from. The first one that I had, it died on me about a month into it. I think I got one that had a faulty battery, or maybe I overcharged it and it kind of stopped working from there. But this is the second one that I'm on. I've had this one for probably well over a year, and it's still working really good for me. Plain and simple, this is the best trimmer you can probably get out right now. They have made newer models of this, which I haven't really used too much yet, but I know they're pretty similar to this one, and I know a lot of very successful barbers who use this trimmer every single day. On Amazon, I stumbled across this trimmer right here, which is made by Kemei. This trimmer is pretty much an identical knockoff of this one made by Babyliss. So as you can see, they look almost exactly the same. Blades are almost exactly the same. The whole entire design, almost identical. Feeling them in my hand, this one, the Kemei one, is actually a lot lighter, which is kind of nice. This one's a little bit heavier, but they both feel really great in your hand. But yeah, these are pretty much identical clippers, except this one cost anywhere from $120 to $200. This one I paid $32 for. I use this trimmer every single day, so I know it really well. I've cut my hair with it countless times. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how this trimmer does first impression in comparison with the Babyliss Pro FX. So to get this low drop fade started, I got my Kemei trimmer. I'm setting in my initial bald guideline. As you can see, I'm keeping it really low around the ear, and then as I go around towards the back, I'm just going to drop it. So as you can see, those Kemei trimmers delivered a really nice, sharp, clean line. Now I'm going to come below that line and just clear out all the bulk. And I was actually really impressed with how close to the skin these trimmers got. That's something I really love about the Babyliss trimmer. The Babyliss gets really close to the skin when you're doing a skin fade, almost to the point where you don't even need to come behind it with a foil shaver because it gets that close to the skin. So I wasn't really sure how this Kemei trimmer was going to perform in comparison to the Babyliss, but as you can see here, it's doing a really good job at getting it almost down completely to the skin. Another thing that I was super impressed with these Kemei trimmers, they didn't snag or pull my hair or skin at all. A lot of the problems that you run into with trimmers in general, whether it be cheap trimmers or a lot of times even the more expensive ones, they'll start to really pull the hair or pull the skin, and sometimes that happens right out of the box, which can be really frustrating. But with these Kemei trimmers, they really just cut like butter right out of the box. I didn't adjust them or anything, but yeah, they went right through the hair. They didn't pull anything or snag the skin, so I was super impressed by that. Now here, moving along with this haircut, as you can see, I'm setting in kind of a rough draft of my lineup, just hitting those C cups there. And this is a really important step because the lineup is such a crucial part of the haircut, especially when you're doing a low skin fade. So by doing that lineup early, it's just going to really help the fade come together as we work through the steps. And it's also going to be helpful because our hairline is still very full since we haven't really began fading up at this point. But now I have my foil shaver, which is made by Selfcut, this one that I'm using. This is a very cheap one that I got on Amazon. I want to say I paid about $15 or $16 for it, and it works really well. So now we got our clipper with no guard on it. We're going to go up about an inch with the lever all the way open. Going to keep it pretty consistent all the way around. Notice as I get to the back, I'm going to make my guideline just a little bit bigger, just to give us a little more room to work with back there. Now we're going to close that lever all the way up, continuing with no guard. We're just going to work out that bottom line that we just created. And you just want to have a really soft hand and just try your best to flick that line out, all while staying below that next line that's pretty dark that you can see above. Now if that no guard with the lever closed didn't completely take that line out, a lot of times it'll knock it up just a little bit. That's why I'm coming in with my no guard with the lever halfway, just to fade that line out the rest of the way. Now I'm coming with my one guard. Got my lever all the way open, continuing up about another inch. Now I'm going to go ahead and put on my half guard, and I'm going to open that lever up to about halfway, and we're going to try to flick out this line that we just created using the one open. You want to notice I'm starting below that line and flicking up towards it. Once again, just having a really soft hand, taking my time, and just working all the way around my head. And you want to make sure you're doing all these steps completely around your head. Don't just do one side and then try to do the other. I find it's easiest to do all the way around your head at one shot. But for the sake of filming, that's why I'm only showing this one side. You also want to keep in mind the importance of using your corners when you're fading. A lot of times you might see a dark spot or a line that you just can't get out with whatever guard you're using. So for example, if this half guard with the lever halfway open just wasn't getting rid of a line that you see, you can try closing the lever just a little bit more so it cuts shorter, but then you just use your corners to kind of work out whatever area or dark spot or line that you see. Now moving along, I got my number 2 guard open, once again going up another inch. Now I'm going to come behind that with my 1.5 guard with the lever halfway, and we're just going to take out that little bit of a line that we see just below that area where we came in with the 2 open. Now we're pretty much faded at this point, but just for the sake of demonstration and just to make sure that we're all blended into the top of my hair, I'm just throwing on that 3 open and just going straight up to make sure that's blended into the top. Here I'm just fading in my beard. I've made a couple different beard fade tutorials on my channel, so if you guys want to check them out, you can go over to my page and check them out. If you're not subscribed already, I'd really appreciate if you guys hit that subscribe button and gave this video a thumbs up. And leave a comment too if you guys have tried out this trimmer or have given yourself a similar haircut to this. But here I'm just clearing out all that hair underneath my beard. This was one area that I was really happy with as far as the Kemei trimmer goes. The Babyliss trimmer, I've always had problems with that when it comes to removing hair underneath a beard. For whatever reason, the Babyliss trimmer tends to pull that hair underneath, and it tends to snag the skin as well. So as far as removing that hair underneath the beard, I would give the edge to this Kemei trimmer actually, because it really cut like butter underneath of my beard. Now everybody's hair and texture is different, so while it went through my beard really easily, it might not go through somebody else's beard quite as easily, and that will come in time. You know, the more I use it on other people and just kind of test out the longevity of it. But first impression, I have to give the slight edge to the Kemei trimmer for underneath that beard. Did a really good job under there. Now here I'm just lining up that C cup once again, just kind of touching up the area, sharpening everything up again. And I'm not really making any like drastic changes to it, just hitting, you know, any little hair that I might see out of place, and just tightening everything up. And as you can see, that lineup just really brings the fade all together and helps everything to pop. The lineup can be really difficult for beginners, just because everybody's head's different, everybody's hairline's different. The last thing you want to do is go pushing your hairline back, or putting some lines in that just don't really look right. So I just tell people, if you're not comfortable with it, definitely don't try to line yourself up too crazy. Just kind of keep things natural, work things a millimeter at a time, and just really take your time with it. Now here I'm just kind of touching up that mustache area. That's one thing I really like about the design of this trimmer. Much like the Babyliss trimmer, they have that exposed blade, which just really allows you to get in those tough to reach places, and it allows you to kind of see a little bit better too, because you don't have a big bulky clipper head getting in your way. Now here I'm just going to tighten everything up with a straight razor. You'll see when using that straight razor, it really just kind of brings everything together, really sharpens up those edges. You want to notice I'm pulling that skin away. That's really key when you're using the straight razor. Just really pull that skin in the opposite direction that you're trying to cut, and then just be really light-handed with the straight razor, holding it at an angle. Don't hold it straight up and down. You want to hold it almost flat, and just really take your time and be soft with it. But yeah, this part can be really satisfying and sounds good, so I'll let you guys listen to this. Last thing I'm doing here is I'm just cleaning up any of those loose neck hairs that need to be cut. This is a really simple but important step, because last thing you want to do is give yourself a nice fade and then kind of forget to hit those loose neck hairs. But here, this is pretty much the final cut. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I was super impressed with this Kemei trimmer and how it did. I highly recommend it for anybody who's looking to get a trimmer. It performed really, really well. I'm not going to say that this Kemei trimmer is a better trimmer than the Babyliss Pro FX trimmer, but in terms of best bang for your buck and best overall value, I'm taking the Kemei trimmer all day. $32 in comparison to $120 to $200. I would go with the Kemei all day, because it really did perform like a professional level clipper. I can't say how long it will last and how the power and battery will hold up, but first impression, first time using it out of the box, I really couldn't be happier with it, and I highly recommend it to anybody who's in the market for a new trimmer. other than that, I hope this video was helpful. Let me know your thoughts on this video in the comment section. If you're not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button and like this video for me. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.